What if the most massive mind-bending structures on Earth weren't built by the civilizations we know today? From temples perfectly aligned with the sun to massive, mysterious stone boxes buried beneath Egyptian sands, these ancient structures are rewriting history. In this video, we're traveling to sites so ancient they make the pyramids look modern. Each location hides secrets of lost engineering, forgotten rituals, and civilizations that time forgot. Are these megalithic wonders proof of knowledge we've only begun to understand? Let's uncover the mysteries of the world's oldest megastructures. 1. Newgrange. Our journey starts in Ireland, at a place called Newgrange. This prehistoric marvel has stood in County Meath for over 5,000 years, making it older than Stonehenge. Imagine a giant circular structure made of massive gray stones, some dragged from far-off mountains and rocky shores. Over 200,000 tons of stone and earth were used to build this incredible site, all of it done without a single metal tool. The design is extraordinary. A long, narrow passage leads from the entrance deep into the monument, lined with carefully placed stones. And here's the most amazing part. Each year, during the winter solstice, the rising sun lines up perfectly with the entrance, casting a beam of light straight into the heart of the inner chamber. For a few moments, this hidden room lights up, as if the sun itself is touching the ancient stones, creating a link between life and death. Some believe this alignment was meant to connect the living with the dead, marking a belief in an afterlife. Newgrange is also wrapped in myth. Legend says it was home to Oengus, a god's son, who, through a clever trick, claimed it as his eternal home. So, this isn't just a pile of stones. It's a blend of legend, architecture, and spiritual symbolism, hidden for centuries until some farmers stumbled upon it in 1699. Even now, Newgrange leaves experts baffled, questioning its purpose. Were the ancient builders trying to bridge two worlds? Or was this just their way of marking their place in history, ensuring their presence would stand the test of time? But this is only the beginning. Next, we'll move on to something smaller, simpler, but just as fascinating, a stone house that takes us back to the roots of early human life. 2. Knap of Howard. Now, let's head north to Scotland, where we find the Knap of Howard. It's nothing like the grand design of Newgrange. This site is a simple farmstead on the rough Orkney coastline, dating even further back, around 3700 BC. Known as Europe's oldest stone house, Knap of Howard gives us a close-up look at daily life for early humans. This place has two buildings side by side. One served as a living area, and the other was likely a storage room or workshop. Imagine stepping inside, stone walls, nearly 6 feet high, creating a cozy room with a sea view. These homes weren't just makeshift shelters, they had stone shelves, beds, and even a hearth that's still standing today. It's easy to picture a family gathered around the fire, warming themselves after a long day of watching over their crops and livestock. The tools they left behind tell us a lot about these people. They crafted stone grinders, borers, and even mace heads from antlers and whale bones, showing their skill in farming and tool making. They grew grains, raised animals, and might have even performed rituals in the privacy of these stone rooms. The larger building, known as House 1, had two main sections divided by upright stones and likely had a low, turf-covered roof supported by posts. House 2 was likely used for storing food or tools. These aren't just old houses. They're pieces of history, standing strong through millennia, showing us the adaptability and determination of early humans. But if Knap of Howard gives us a glimpse into daily survival, our next site reveals something entirely different, a mystery buried deep in the sands of Egypt. So let's leave these humble stones behind as we prepare to uncover the strange alien black boxes of Saqqara, artifacts that defy explanation and hint at otherworldly secrets. 3. Mysterious alien black boxes. In the heart of Egypt, near the ancient pyramid of Djoser, lies a mystery hidden deep in the sands. At Saqqara, archaeologists found 24 massive black stone boxes tucked away inside a hillside cave. Known as the Saqqara Serapeum, these huge coffin-shaped boxes are far more than just relics. They're carved from Aswan granite, a rock so dense that even today's tools would struggle to cut it. Each box weighs over 100 tons, with the lids alone weighing around 30 tons. But it's the level of precision that's truly baffling. These boxes were crafted with such accuracy that they seal perfectly, almost airtight. The sheer size and skill involved make experts wonder why these boxes were made. Some people even think they might have been created by beings not from this earth, pointing to the idea of extraterrestrial involvement. Others argue that the Egyptians likely likely reused these boxes, perhaps to hold something sacred, like tombs for special purposes. Strangely, the boxes have hieroglyphics on them, but they seem roughly scratched on, almost like graffiti, suggesting they may have been added later. So, who or what were these boxes meant for? Egyptologists think the Serapeum was built about 3,300 years ago during the rule of Ramesses II as a sacred place dedicated to the god Serapis, a figure blending Egyptian and Greek beliefs, often shown with a three-headed dog. Ancient records hint that Ramesses II's son, Khemweset, ordered the creation of a tunnel with chambers to hold these stone giants. Here, the mummified remains of Apis bulls, seen as sacred creatures of the god Ptah, would rest, honoring them as gods in their own right. These black boxes are more than just stone containers. They challenge what we know about ancient skills, raising questions that spark the imagination. Were they simply tombs for holy creatures, or do they serve a purpose we can only guess at? As we leave Egypt behind, we'll head to another land where stone is also the foundation of incredible temples and mysteries. 4. The megalithic temples of Malta. Leaving the mysteries of Egypt behind, our journey brings us to the sunny Mediterranean islands of Malta and Gozo. Here, we find the megalithic temples of Malta, ancient stone structures that have amazed people for centuries. These temples, built between 3600 and 2500 BC, are some of the oldest known freestanding buildings on Earth, even older than the pyramids. The ancient Maltese created these temples with great skill, using massive limestone blocks without metal tools. Archaeologists think they moved these stones using simple methods like wooden rollers, sleds, and levers. This was impressive on its own, but it's the clever design that stands out. Many of these temples have corbel arches, which involve each stone slightly overlapping the one below, creating a vault that comes together perfectly at the center. This kind of technique is so advanced that it wasn't common for centuries afterward. The exact purpose of these temples is still a mystery. Some experts think they were used for worship, a place where the ancient Maltese honored their gods. Others believe they might have been burial sites, spaces where the dead could be sent off to the afterlife. Evidence suggests they could have served both roles, showing that life and death were deeply connected in their culture. Archaeologists have also found pottery, animal bones, and fire remains, showing a long history that stretches back to the early Neolithic period. Each temple seems to improve upon the one before, marking an evolution of design. The names of these temples reflect their origins too. Ta, Hagrat, and Hagar Kim, for instance, carry the word Hagar, which means boulders in Maltese, tying the stones to their sacred purpose. This link between the buildings and their spiritual role shows us a culture that respects nature and honors it in its sacred spaces. Walking through these ancient ruins, you can't help but feel the deep history of each stone. The megalithic temples of Malta are far more than a pile of rocks. They're a testament to the resilience, creativity, and quest for meaning of ancient people. But as we continue, our next stop holds even more mystery. In the high Andes, stones defy both gravity and logic in a way that seems almost impossible. Next, we journey to Puma Punku. High in the Andes Mountains of Bolivia, Puma Punku stands as a mind-bending example of ancient engineering skill, part of a larger temple complex. This site has puzzled experts for years. Most believe Puma Punku was built between 536 and 600 AD, but some think it might be even older. The stones here are enormous, with some of the largest weighing about 131 tons, double what modern construction machines can handle. And here's the incredible part. Puma Punku sits at an altitude of 2,800 feet, where moving such massive stones would have been nearly impossible. There are no trees at this height, so they couldn't use wood as rollers, leaving the ancient builders' methods a complete mystery. The precision in the stonework is stunning. Each block is so carefully cut that it's hard to imagine anyone achieving this without advanced tools. Some blocks are even magnetic, adding an extra layer of intrigue. The stones are carved into intricate shapes, including tiny gateways that look like smaller versions of full-sized entrances. Maybe these symbolized spiritual or mystical portals. This level of skill suggests that the people who built Puma Punku had an impressive grasp of geometry and stonework. You can see this in the remains of at least 5 andesite gateways, similar to the famous Gateway of the Sun. In its heyday, Puma Punku must have been vibrant, with colorful decorations, polished metal plates, pottery, and intricate textiles. Historians picture priests, nobles, and everyday people visiting the site, all dressed in ceremonial clothing. But over the centuries, much of Pumapunku was damaged by natural erosion, looters, and stone miners. With no written records and much of the site now in ruins, Pumapunku remains one of history's biggest puzzles. Who built it and how did they do it? As we leave this Andean mystery, our journey takes us across continents to a place where faith itself carved wonders into the rock. 6. Lalibela's rock-hewn churches. Leaving the Andes behind, we travel to Ethiopia, where religion has carved out a lasting legacy. In the town of Lalibela, 11 rock-hewn churches stand as powerful symbols of Ethiopia's ancient Christian faith. These churches, believed to be over 800 years old, reach as deep as 50 feet underground. Instead of being built with stone blocks, these structures were chiseled directly out of the rock. Cross-shaped windows light up the dark interiors, while also providing ventilation and directing rainwater away from the holy ground. Legend says these incredible churches were built by King Lalibela in the 12th century. Even more fascinating, local stories claim that a group of angels helped him, completing all 11 churches in a single night. Near the entrance, a small museum displays a tool, a type of adze, that may have been used in the carving. But this tool looks more suited for farming than for cutting stone, making the whole story even more mysterious. If you believe the tales, perhaps divine help was involved in the making of Lalibela. Even after all these centuries, these churches are still active places of worship. The nearby village, with its traditional round houses, shows the blend of Ethiopia's rich history and culture. Pilgrims from all over the country still come to Lalibela, connecting today's believers with those from hundreds of years ago. There's a feeling of deep spirituality here, as well as sacred practices that have survived through the ages. These rock-carved churches, made from the very ground beneath them, stand as symbols of human faith and strength. As we leave Lalibela, our next stop combines ancient engineering and nature in a way that will leave us in awe. From Lalibela's sacred stone wonders, we journey back to the Andes, to a place where the Incas mastered both farming and engineering in perfect harmony. 7. The Moray Terraces. High up in the Andes, about 50 kilometers from Cusco, is one of the Inca Empire's most incredible creations, the Moray Terraces. This ancient site looks like a huge amphitheater, with circular terraces spiraling down about 150 meters to a perfectly drained center. Even though this area often gets heavy rain, the Moray Terraces are designed to prevent water from pooling. It's a marvel of drainage, keeping the terraces dry even during the heaviest downpours. One of the most fascinating things about Moray is the temperature difference between the top and bottom terraces, a change of about 15 degrees Celsius. This variation in climate on each level allowed the Incas to simulate different growing environments in one place, which suggests the terraces were likely used as an experimental agricultural center. The Incas may have studied how different climates affected their crops here, using what they learned to improve farming across their empire. The exact age and original purpose of the Moray Terraces are still debated. Some experts believe they were built by the Incas between the 11th and 15th centuries, while others think they might be even older. The terraces were constructed with a clever cut-and-fill technique, using huge amounts of soil and rock to build up the retaining walls. These walls, made of tightly fitted limestone blocks with no mortar, show the same impressive stonework skills the Incas used in other famous sites. Adding to the wonder of Moray is its complex irrigation system. Carved channels carry water through the terraces, ensuring each level gets the moisture it needs, even in dry weather. This impressive design would have allowed the Incas to grow crops even in difficult conditions, helping secure their food supply. The Moray Terraces show an advanced understanding of farming, engineering, and adapting to the environment. But as we admire the science behind Moray, we now turn to a marvel of spiritual devotion, the stunning Borobudur Temple in Indonesia. Standing as the world's largest Buddhist temple, Borobudur in central Java, Indonesia, is a breathtaking structure of beauty and mystery. Built in the 8th century by the Shailendra dynasty, this massive temple was constructed using nearly 2 million cubic feet of stone, all put together without modern machinery. Historians think it took around 100 years to complete, with thousands of workers contributing. Borobudur is designed to resemble a mandala, a symbol of the Buddhist path toward enlightenment. Borobudur's original plan was a single, huge stupa, but as construction continued, engineers worried it might not hold, so they changed the design to include 3 different levels, each representing a part of the Buddhist spiritual journey. The temple has 9 levels, and the journey through it starts at the bottom, symbolizing Kamadhatu, or the realm of feeling. Hundreds of detailed carvings here show scenes of human desires and struggles. Moving up to the 2nd level, called Rupa Dhatu, or the realm of form, visitors see reliefs that tell the story of Buddha's life, as well as tales of his past lives from the Jatakas. The topmost level, Arupa Dhatu, represents the realm of formlessness, a stage of spiritual freedom. Here, the decoration becomes simple, reflecting inner peace, and there are 72 bell-shaped stupas with statues of Buddha visible through the stone openings. Beyond its architectural brilliance, Borobudur holds a yearly ceremony called Waichak under the full moon, where thousands of monks dressed in saffron robes climb the temple steps to honor Buddha's birth, enlightenment, and passing. With over 500 Buddha statues and countless intricate carvings, Borobudur stands as a testament to the artistry and devotion of its builders. As we leave Borobudur's silent and serene stone walls, our next stop takes us to the shores of Brittany, where an ancient stone monument holds secrets from a time long past. Get ready for the mysteries of the Cairn of Barnenez. In the green, peaceful countryside of Brittany, France, lies the Cairn of Barnenez, one of Europe's oldest and most impressive ancient structures. Built nearly 7,000 years ago, this massive stone monument, which is over 72 meters long and 8 meters tall, actually predates Stonehenge. Known as one of the earliest tombs in Western Europe, the Cairn of Barnenez stands as an amazing example of ancient engineering. The cairn was built in two main phases. The first part, called Cairn 1, was constructed between 4850 and 4250 BCE using local stones called dolerite. It required nearly 4,000 tons of rock. Later, between 4450 and 4000 BCE, 6 more burial chambers were added with granite, bringing the total to 11. Each chamber has a corbelled roof and narrow stone walls, creating a quiet, sacred space inside. The size of this structure is incredible. Experts think that building just the first part would have taken about 200 people working for 3 months straight, totaling around 15,000, 20,000 workdays. Moving such huge stones shows the dedication and skill of the people who built it. The cairn has lasted through time and remains largely intact, proving the builder's skill. In the 1950s, the site was protected after years of private ownership, which had caused some damage from stone quarrying. Inside, artifacts and pottery suggest the site was still in use during the 3rd millennium BCE, showing it held spiritual significance over many centuries. Although scholars still debate its exact purpose, the cairn's location on a peninsula overlooking the Bay of Morlex hints that it may have been used as a sacred or ceremonial site. This ancient structure stands quietly today, reminding us of our deep fascination with life and death. And now, let's travel to the South Pacific, where another ancient wonder, Nan Madol, defies all expectations. Hidden in the remote South Pacific, off the coast of Pohnpei Island, lies an abandoned wonder called Nan Madol, often called the Venice of the Pacific. Nan Madol is a unique city made up of about 100 artificial islands spread over 150 acres. It was built from basalt and coral, forming a grand center of culture and ceremony for the Saudeleur dynasty. Nan Madol is believed to date back to the 8th century. It served as the main hub for the dynasty's elite, a place for gatherings, feasts, and religious ceremonies. Local legends tell of giant birds that helped carry the heavy basalt columns to the site, adding an air of mystery to its construction. Instead of using mortar, the builders carefully placed each stone column, relying only on weight and balance to make sturdy walls and buildings. This impressive technique shows a deep knowledge of architecture far ahead of its time. Nan Madol reached its peak around the 12th century, with some walls rising to 26 feet high. The most fascinating part of Nan Madol is the area known as the Mortuary Complex, a group of 58 islands where the Saudeleur elite were buried. At the center is a huge tomb, protected by walls as high as 8 meters, a resting place for royalty. Despite its grandeur, Nan Madol was slowly abandoned after the Saudeleur dynasty fell around 1500, and nature began to reclaim it. In 2016, UNESCO named it a World Heritage Site, recognizing its cultural importance. But the true story of how it was built and why remains unsolved. The breathtaking stone city of Nan Madol might seem like the peak of ancient architecture, but now we head to the desert sands of Jordan. Here, hidden in towering cliffs, lies an ancient wonder with secrets of its own. Welcome to the treasury at Petra. In the rose-red city of Petra, hidden in the rugged landscapes of Jordan, stands the famed treasury, a structure so breathtaking that it's hard to believe it was crafted over 2,000 years ago. Dating back to the 1st century BCE, the treasury, or Al-Khazne, as it's locally known, is an iconic symbol of ancient ingenuity and mystique. With its towering towering, intricately carved facade, the treasury captures the imagination of all who pass through the narrow canyon leading to its base. Archaeologists and historians believe that Hellenistic architects may have designed the treasury due to its distinctively Greek and Roman architectural influences, though its exact purpose remains a mystery. Unlike anything else in the region, the treasury's architecture suggests a blend of cultural exchanges, likely due to Petra's position along ancient trade routes. Petra itself, established by the enigmatic Nabatean people as early as the 4th century BCE, was a thriving hub of trade, connecting Arabia, Egypt, and the Mediterranean. By the time the treasury was built, Petra had already been exposed to various architectural styles, including Greek and Roman, due to its annexation by the Roman Empire around 106 CE. The treasury's current name derives from local Bedouin legends, which suggest the massive stone urn, or tholos, crowning the facade, held ancient pirate treasures. Desperate to uncover the supposed riches, Bedouins often fired bullets at the urn, leaving visible marks on its stone surface. The structure itself, carved directly into the cliffside, features a grand central chamber with 2 smaller flanking rooms, hinting that it may have served as a ceremonial or royal burial site. Standing at nearly 40 meters high, the treasury's presence is both commanding and serene, drawing visitors into its mystery and allure. With intricate carvings of deities and floral patterns adorning the facade, it's clear that the creators of the treasury intended to leave a lasting impression. And while the purpose of this stunning monument remains uncertain, its craftsmanship and beauty are universally recognized. Thanks for exploring these ancient mysteries with us. The engineering, the alignments, the sheer scale. It's almost impossible to imagine what knowledge these ancient builders possessed. But what do you think? Could there be lost civilizations or hidden techniques that made these feats possible? If you enjoyed this journey through ancient wonders, hit that like button, subscribe for more dives into history's most unsolved secrets, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Drop a comment below with the ancient site you'd most want to visit, and if there's a mystery you want us to explore next, let us know.